I always thought my grandmother was just a sweet, eccentric lady who sold dusty, beautiful vintage trinkets for a living. But when she left me this entire antique shop in her will, I quickly inherited far more than history. The air in here is incredibly thick, smelling of beeswax, old paper, and a strange, heavy electric tension. Everyone told me to sell the shop immediately, but a nagging, unexplainable feeling kept pulling me back inside. Sitting at her ancient, dusty mahogany desk, I decided to go through her personal ledgers and secret documents. Hidden beneath a false bottom in her top drawer, my trembling fingers brushed against a cold, iron key. I slowly searched the quiet shop for what it opened, walking past rows of silent, watching grandfather clocks. In the deepest shadows of the back room, a tiny, brass-bound wooden cabinet caught my eye, pulsing. My heart hammered wildly against my ribs as I realized this secret key was a perfect, snug match. Surrounded by towering shelves of forgotten, ancient relics, I felt like a trespasser in my own family's history. Inside the cabinet lay a single, heavy envelope sealed with thick, black wax and my name written on it. I held my breath, instantly knowing that opening this letter would change the course of my life forever. Looking down at the unbroken, dark wax seal, I felt a sudden, chilling draft sweep through the room. My shaking fingers broke the seal, carefully unfolding a yellowed piece of parchment written in her hurried cursive. I slowly carried the letter toward the dusty front window, needing the fading afternoon sunlight to read it. The very first sentence made my blood run completely cold, freezing me in place as the shadows lengthened. If you are reading this, I am dead, and the ancient wards keeping them quiet have already failed. Suddenly, the cozy, familiar shop felt incredibly vast, hostile, and filled with a suffocating, unseen threat around me. I stared at the page as she explained that these weren't ordinary antiques, but powerful, cursed prison cells. I looked up slowly, sweating, absolutely convinced that the cracked porcelain dolls on the top shelf were staring. She wrote that every object in this shop held a restless, hungry entity, bound only by our bloodline. I touched a silver pocket watch on the desk. It was ticking backward, vibrating with a dark, unnatural warmth. Terrified, I ran to the main entrance, locking the heavy iron deadbolt to keep the outside world safe. Standing against the heavy door, I listened to the muffled, unnatural whispers echoing from the darkest, deepest shelves. I looked back down at her frantic writing. "You must feed the seals tonight, or they will escape." The horrifying scale of my inheritance hit me. I wasn't a shop owner, I was a supernatural jailer. I looked at the ancient iron mirror. My reflection wasn't moving, but it was staring back and smiling. The air temperature suddenly plummeted, and my rapid breath turned to thick white mist in the dark room. "The basement hatch holds the primary source of the power," the letter warned. "You must go there first." I reached behind the heavy, dusty velvet drapes and pulled the tarnished brass lever she had described. A secret trapdoor in the old floorboards creaked open, revealing a stone stairwell descending into absolute pitch blackness. I hesitated at the edge, my shadow stretching long and thin, swallowed by the yawning abyss below me. I took a deep, shaky breath, knowing there was absolutely no turning back for my life now. Suddenly, every single music box in the shop began to play a discordant, terrifyingly loud melody together. Down in the pitch-black basement, a pair of glowing, crimson eyes slowly blinked open, staring directly at me. At that exact second, someone, or something, began to violently and frantically rattle the locked front door behind me. The handle is shaking violently, but the glowing basement is calling. Do I open the hatch, or face the door?